Hi, I'm Julie Taylor, and I'm your instructor this semester for Math 070. As we get ready for the Lesson 2 assignments in the next week or so, I want you to have an idea of what my expectations are for you and how I expect you to be able to learn math in an online environment. The review quiz and the Lesson 1 assignments are pretty basic, so most of you have experience with those and can go straight into the homework assignments. And with the learning aids, you can get through those homework assignments without much trouble. As we get into Lesson 2, we get into a little more complex material. Lesson 3 involves a lot of word problems, so I want to make sure you understand what resources are available to you. We all know that in a seated classroom, you sit there, you listen to your instructor talk about the topics, you watch that instructor work examples. There are lots of ways that you can understand the material. Then you come back the next day and you ask questions from the homework. So let's talk about what resources are available to you in an online environment that help you learn that material. If we go to assignments, we can see that Unit 1 includes a review lesson, Lesson 1, Lesson 2, Lesson 3. The Unit 1 test has to be completed by Tuesday, February 8th. Most of you have already finished up the review lesson. A lot of you are close to finishing Lesson 1, and Lesson 2 is now available, so if you're working ahead, you can go ahead and get started on that. Let's click on Lesson 2 and look at some of the information. The introduction to Lesson 2 tells me that it includes 2 sections from the book, that doesn't sound bad, plus unit conversion problems and inequalities that are not included in the textbook. These additional topics will be on the Unit 1 test, so be sure to read the posted notes and watch the posted videos for these topics. Okay, so remember that when you have topics that are not included in your textbook, then you're not going to have as much available in my math lab to help you with those. I post videos, I post some practice problems for those, and it's up to you to take advantage of those things. Anything you have questions on, please email me. Just because I'm not in front of you every day does not mean that I'm not available to answer your questions. That's why I'm here. So that's topic number 1, is to remember that I'm still here as your instructor and I am available to help you, but you have to email me or post a question on the discussion board for me to know that you need help. Alright, let's go down to the textbook sections and video lectures. For anything that is in your textbook, then you have a lot available for you. I would recommend that you start with the multimedia textbook section for each section in the lesson. By the beginning part of the section, I have a video camera icon that includes a section lecture, and that's usually 8 to 15 minutes, something like that. Basically an instructor going over everything in the section as far as concepts with some examples. I would strongly recommend that you watch that, especially if it's a section that you have struggled with or not familiar with at all. You know, if you click on that video and you get in and you say, I already know this material, then fine, go ahead and try some other things. Try the homework problems and see how you do. But I would start with that section video. Then I would like for you to actually page through this multimedia textbook. I know most students don't read their math books, and I'm not asking you to read every word, but I would like for you to go through and pay attention to things that are here for you. Like this first table says, algebraic translations of English phrases. These are things that an instructor would go over in a classroom and say, remember, when you see the word difference, if it says the difference between 6 and a number, then you write the 6 first. We all know difference means subtraction, but it would be 6 minus x. If I have 9 fewer than a number, then I am thinking, okay, I'm taking 9 away from something, so it's going to be x minus 9. So this chart is here to help you. There are lots of things available in your textbook to help you. If you have a printed textbook, of course you can use that, but then you don't have the option of just clicking on the videos. So you might want to use the video lectures in the folder. Alright, we get to example 1. The examples are worked out in your book with instructions on how to do it and hints on how to write things. So look through those, take some notes, write down some things as if an instructor in a classroom was writing that on the board for you. Keep going. When I get to example 2, I see a you try it problem. Now this example is worked out for me with steps, so the you try it problem is not going to be that same example, but it's going to be something similar. If I click on it, it brings up a problem in the same format that your homework will be in. Okay, it tells me that two stadiums with the largest capacities are Marshfield Stadium and Bowden Stadium. Marshfield Stadium has a capacity of 4,843 more than Bowden Stadium. If the combined capacity is 210,355, find the capacity for each stadium. And I may say, I don't really know how to do this. I need some help. So I come over to help me solve this, and I click on that, and it basically leads me through the setup. And it says, alright, let X be the capacity for Bowden Stadium. You know that Marshfield Stadium has a capacity of 4,843 more than Bowden, so it would be X plus 4,843. And then I check answer for that part. And it says, good job. And when I click OK, it brings up the next part. And it sets me up to write the equation. And it says, okay, put this into an equation. What's the capacity of Bowden Stadium? Well, we set up here, that's X. So I put X in that box. What does AND mean? AND means plus. What's the capacity of Marshfield? That was X plus 4,843. Is means equal. And then the total is 210,355. I check my answer. It says well done. I click OK. And then I've got the equation. And it says now solve the equation. And I click continue and it steps me through. When I close that, I come back. And the words are the same, but if you notice, the numbers have now changed in the problem. So to get credit for that question on homework, now this is just an example, but if this were a homework problem and I used help me solve this, to get credit for it I would have to work this problem with the new numbers and then it would count it either right or wrong. So the tools are there to help you learn, but you have to demonstrate that you have learned how to set up a problem. Now it's much easier if you've just been through one exactly like it, but don't become too dependent on those learning aids. Make sure that you're understanding the concept and not just repeating what it just gave you. Alright, we'll close out of this and continue to page through the section. On this page we have example 3, and now I have a video icon. It's consecutive integers in the Super Bowl. The problem here deals with scores in a Super Bowl. If I click the video, it's not going to be that same problem. That problem is already worked out in the text. So this video is going to be another short video, just one problem, dealing with consecutive integers. Two pages that face each other in a book have 193 as the sum of their pages. It is going to be an actual instructor working out an actual problem, so it's great, but it's not going to be exactly the same. And that's a good thing, because that way you get more examples. You have another you try it problem where you could try a consecutive integer problem. Alright, so that's how I expect you to use your textbook. Those textbook sections are in a folder in each lesson. You continue to page through. Watch the section video. Go through each one watching example videos, trying you try it problems. Sometimes you'll have an animation. An animation is something different, but it can be very effective in helping you understand something. Alright, those are some of the resources that are available. If you click on the video lecture, like I said, if you have a printed textbook and you want to use that for paging through and looking at examples, then you can just use that in conjunction with these video presentations. When I bring this up, it shows me the section lecture. And this one is like a PowerPoint. You can make it full screen to make it easier to read. It is closed caption. You can bring that up and sometimes that helps you. And I'm going to close out of that right now. Okay, so those are things that are available to you for anything that's in the textbook. If we go back, you can see I've posted some additional tools for you. The conversion problems, you will have a conversion assignment in my math lab. Now that's an assignment that I created, creating my own questions, so you won't have the learning aids available for you on those. But you will have some notes posted here, and after the notes you will have some practice problems. After the practice problems are the answers. So you can do the practice problems and then check your answers and see how you're doing. Email any questions that you have on that. In addition, I've got a video posted here. This is another instructor who made this video, but it's great. It goes right along with the Math 070 conversions. Each lesson will have a link in it to the homework, quizzes, and tests. All those assignments will show up in the same list, and then below that I tell you which assignments you should be choosing for this lesson. And it's usually pretty obvious, but that way you've got a list. A lab assignment is a little different. We won't do that in my math lab. When you click on a lab assignment, it will be a document. It's an RTF file because that's usually something that people can access regardless of their word processing software. Whether you're using Works or Word, you should be able to access it. Anytime you have trouble, just email me and I'll send you out a PDF file so that you can at least print it to see what it's supposed to be showing. Alright, in the lab assignment you can type your answers in the document. You can print that document, work it out by hand, and then scan that in. Either way, then you can email me the assignment as an attachment, or you can submit it via the digital Dropbox in Course Compass. Alright, the last thing, here are a couple videos from YouTube. I also included some compound inequality examples and practice problems. Again, that's for you to look at and then work out and check your own answers. Okay, I've got example 1 with the answer in both forms, example 2, answer in both forms, and then some practice problems with the answers so you can see how you're doing. Alright, again, email any questions that you have from those. Alright, that's lesson 2 at a glance, and that's what I expect you to do and how I expect you to be able to learn math in an online environment. You also have some resources available under Notes and Solutions. The Student Solutions Manual is there to show you solutions to all odd number exercises found in the mid-chapter checkpoints, the chapter reviews, the chapter tests, and the cumulative reviews. The Word Problem Workbook is a great resource. It gives you different examples and exercises for different types of problems. The Math 070 Graphing Calculator Guide is something that I created to just help you if your TI-84 is brand new to you. There are chapter test prep videos that show you how to work out every question in the chapter test. Some concept videos, and these are pretty interesting. Just click on these tabs over to the side, look at what's there, see if you can find things that will help you. The Multimedia Library is another resource. Let's say we're in section 3.3, which is problem solving in geometry, and I want to see everything that's available to help me. So there are several animations that I wouldn't have necessarily found anywhere else, but that tells me what resources are available to me in my math lab. The last thing I want to show you is the My Grades tab. This is where you can see all of your assignments in the My Math Lab gradebook. Now, homework, quizzes, and unit tests will show up in here automatically, so you'll be able to see your score immediately. You can click Show Overall Score, and it will show your average up here. I haven't completed anything, so it's not showing an average, but it will be up here at the top. Okay. If I go back, I can see my list, and again, I haven't completed anything. If I had completed this review quiz, then I would have an option here that said Review, and I could click on that to see what I missed and what I got right. That's pretty much it. Email me with any questions. Thanks a lot.